everybody. Welcome back to another edition of The Zoom. I'm your host, Chris Schubert, and with me today is the ever so famous, ever so legendary Andrew Lauder of Rapidscale. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Hey, Chris. How you doing, bud? Thanks for having me.
Very happy to have you here, bud. So tell us a little bit about your background. You've been rocking and rolling the channel for a while now, but really made your name at Rapidscale. Tell us a little bit about your background and what fires you up about working at Rapidscale.
Yeah, so I've been at Rapidscale. It's going on 7 years, and it's been a great ride so far. It was really my first endeavor into the channel and even technology from that perspective. So it was a good opportunity. I got connected with Randy Jeter early on, and we grew the relationship and had an opportunity to come on. It's been a lot of fun. And I mean, at this point, I've seen the channel evolve from, we first got in this thing, trying to convince people why it was a good idea to go to host exchange. So now at this point, I mean, the evolution around it is, companies have adopted, and the maturation of the space is really driving a lot of these conversations from the partner community. So it's a real fun time. And I think the best days are ahead of us.
So as you think of Rapidscale, obviously a proven name, not only in the channel, and obviously, for those that don't know, Randy Jeter, the founder of Rapidscale, used to be just a traditional telco partner and evolved into running Rapidscale. So we knew the channel and baked it into the DNA. What would you, when people ask, who is Rapidscale today in 2020?
Yeah, so today just as we always have been, we're a global managed cloud computing company. So on a day-to-day basis, we're really focusing a lot around the hosting and delivering of production environments. And that's been very true since really the inception. We position ourselves very early on to be leaders in the data space. And of course, that's continued to happen now. And it's a lot better times now, right, for the desktop as a service than it was in the past. But we're continuing to grow that solution set and evolve from that perspective. So if you looked at our core solutions, we had Office 365, which is pretty common now within the space. Done a lot of that stuff with CNSG and you guys in the past. We do disaster recovery as a service, backup as a service, infrastructure as a service, and then desktops as a service. Those are kind of like the core four when it comes to, I know I mentioned five, but there's like kind of the core four when it comes to the production hosting. And then you start layering in the security, the managed security component that we have in our business, as well as the SD-WAN. And then we're also looking to do more around the identity management as a service to kind of just continue to round out the solution. Ideally, we're walking into customers and they've got some type of limitations or gaps within their current IT environment. And we're able to come in and not only bring in technologies to them to help their business, but also enable their business from a technology perspective, because we're able to bring subject matter expertise from a people perspective and a management perspective to their company. So, really look to taking companies, whether it's a crawl, walk, run type approach, where they're starting off with maybe a 365 and then kind of building into more of a full hosting, or we can go in there and handle particular solutions or situations as they come up with them.
Now, obviously, you guys are experts at rapidly scaling your customers' desires with the cloud. See what I did there? I know. Yeah. I pay attention to the marketing. It's great, right? But one of the things that we talk about a lot on the Zooms is how you differentiate yourself. Now, obviously, we've got a channel focus, which that checks off a box for a lot of our partners listening today. You've been doing this for a while, so you're not a brand new company. You've got a lot of established customers that are underneath you in all of those different areas. And I would also tell our audience to always think of you for a managed Velo Cloud SD-WAN, one of the best ones we have in our portfolio in terms of being able to attack it from a cloud mindset, not a connectivity mindset, and really optimizing that SD-WAN for the customer's needs. But you're also a company that has the power of Cox Business behind it. There's no secret, Cox Business acquired Rapidscale, and unlike pretty much every other acquisition in the channel, allowed it to continue to grow and scale on its own. Did not rip it to pieces and put a VP of Cox right on top of you and made you all change your name and lose your culture. No, they allowed you to run it as the same. So with all those cool features or all those cool benefits I just mentioned, Andrew, it's still a very competitive field. So what do you feel you do better than any of your competitors, and why should you be the choice for those those lines of business that you just mentioned?
So I think there's kind of two components that you can look at for why we're differentiating. First of all, with the acquisition from Cox, what they've done is they've allowed for us to really invest a lot in our systems. So we're building these single pane of glasses. We're building a lot of these interfaces and the technology to make it transparent to the customers. So where if they want to kind of get in there and have a lot of control, they can. But if they just want to have some visibility into tickets and that nature, they can have that as well. So that's a nice component for the customer. It's nothing proprietary that we're doing, but we are doing it well, and we're doing it with the understanding of what the customer wants to see. And there's also a general feedback form within there that goes into our development staff that can kind of help with that. So that's kind of the first piece of it. But really, when you look at the day-to-day for what we do and how we differentiate ourselves, it's the flexibility that we bring to call it the sales cycle and the ongoing management, meaning that we can listen to what they need and what they have and put the right solution together around them. There's nothing, we don't pigeonhole people or put anybody in a box for what they want. It's us, we kind of tailor the solutions very much so to really what they need and what they're looking for so we can be that perfect provider for them. And then kind of going from there, you start looking at the actual customer experience and the support model and the management components behind it. Our business is, we differentiate ourselves early on by the ability to not just say no and to take calls and take support models that, might be out of scope. And we'll work with the customers, because the thing is, when you're working with a company that has a very lean IT staff, that means that they don't really have a lot of time and energy or the resources to be able to do this kind of stuff. So there's components of it that we essentially have the keys to the kingdom. And understanding that we have to be a little bit flexible, whether that's working, directly with some of their third-party softwares that they're working with, or if it's, handling things that may be, more of a user error type situation as opposed to a Rapidscale failure. So there's that piece of, and that's really reflected within our Net Promoter Score. So we put a lot of emphasis and energy around the NPS score, and the eyes are on that thing from the top down. So I think we're typically running somewhere between like the mid 80s. For that, and within our space in particular, especially the managed cloud, it's more of like the mid 30s is kind of the status quo. So putting a lot of emphasis on that, and that just comes directly from support. They open up a ticket, they speak to one of our support engineers. When that ticket's closed, they will then receive a survey where they can fill it out and put the and rate us accordingly on the scale. So that's something that's really reflective of the back office and the support. Because if you can build to perform, but at the end of the day, if you don't take care of the people and the customers, then who is going to at that point?
So for many of our partners, obviously cloud is still that area that they're just scratching the surface of. It's not the day-to-day that connectivity and UCaaS, and slowly but surely SD-WAN is becoming. But I got to tell you guys, when you're dealing with Rapidscale, you are dealing with that total package. They've got the corporate backing, so they're not going anywhere. They've got a great product set. They've got a channel focus. They're very flexible, and you can start with one small product line and really grow and scale beyond that. Another thing I got to add in there is great leadership at the top. Bob Buchanan is running the channel for you guys over there. I've had the pleasure of working with Bob for probably far longer than he would care to admit, but he's always does a great job because he's 100% committed to the customer and the partner, making sure their experience is second to none. Let's shift gears a little bit and talk about those customers and kind of where how Rapidscale solutions apply to them. Always, we'd love to hear about case studies. So if you would, tell us a little bit about a recent win that you guys have had and what you were able to do for them.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot lately, which has been, we're very blessed to be in that situation. But there's one in particular that stood out. And the reason why I like this one is because we do a lot. There's a lot of 365 that's happening. And those don't really exactly take, you're kind of like the partners bring it to us, and we're gonna go do that with them. But this one in particular was a healthcare company, which healthcare was early and often was our biggest vertical. It still is. They were early adapters to the managed cloud space, and this was just a textbook situation. Roughly 300 employees, multi-locations, geographically dispersed. They had an on-premise infrastructure, and they were doing HDAS or VMware Horizon themselves today. So they were already basically using virtual desktops internally, and they were looking to move to an outsourced model for a lot of the same reasons that we discussed with the partner community around, how do you identify opportunities? They wanted to get out of the CapEx and get more of an OpEx model. They didn't have all the expertise and sight to continue to do themselves. They thought it would be advantageous for the business to outsource that. So, I mean, it was a competitive situation, but at the end of the day, it's a customer that they have compliance needs, they had compliance requirements, they needed a certain level of management. In this case, it's not fully managed because they have an IT staff. So they're able to kind of handle some of those roles and responsibilities on a daily basis, but leverage us for some of the things that are a little bit, outside of their comfort zone, or areas they just didn't really want to be in, right? Plus they got into the more of the licensing OpEx, right? Which means instead of having to go out there and buy licenses, they can go just and take advantage of those version upgrades that come along. So, I mean, it's a really good deal. And we also have redundancy built into it. So there was a primary and a secondary. So there's an HA side, component where if their data center goes down, they can come up. So it's a very good customer. It was a good opportunity. It was a long opportunity. The sales cycle was like 8 months, maybe a little over 8 months. But, with that, we also knew that it was because they made this decision as a business early on and they stuck with it throughout the process. And then we finally got it and it came to fruition. And now they're very happy at this point. So that was one that I enjoyed. I always enjoy dealing in the healthcare space because I think they're a very good fit for what we do. And they're very much, they're built out similar and they typically can see this, like-minded weaknesses right within their company. So that was one that we did lately that was good.
Now, with someone that's got an 8-month sales cycle, you've got to have a great team around that to work with the customer, design the solution, manage the process. For a lot of partners that may not be, doing these cloud products as an everyday deal, what kind of support can they expect to have from Rapidscale when they engage with your team? And I know a couple of these guys like Tyler really, really well, but when you engage with the team, what should they expect? What's the experience for the partner going to be?
So, I mean, I think what you can expect for us is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to seek to understand why we're in this position and what their true opportunity is. In this space, there's typically going to be some type of compelling event and a business impact. So we always really want to understand. Now we're broken out. So our channel managers support our partners that are within their region. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's supposed to be a consistent model for them so you can get to know the same person over and over again, as opposed to like wherever the customer's located. So, I mean, they're always going to have somebody there and we're with you as much or as little as you want. And there's some people that are very technical, in which case they can go in there and really qualify an opportunity, some partners, and then they kind of bring it to us and we can work from there. But we always want to be engaged. We want to go shoulder to shoulder. We're never going to undermine the partner. I mean, we're going to do everything we can to make you better. I think it was not when I was doing this before going into more of a leadership role, I always wanted to kind of understand, what have you done? What is your relationship with them? What have you sold them? Why did they buy that? Right? What are some of the things that they've done? Because I'm looking for some of the leading indicators around them being cloud ready. Why did they get those things in the first place? And now what are we looking for? What do you understand about this? Because if we're coming in and we're offering a solution, there's probably going to be some type of problem, right? And most people don't just go, changing the way they do business because it seemed like a good idea. So let's really understand what that is and what is the impact and how do we really understand how this is going to help them on a go forward basis.
Great answers all. And I would encourage our partner community to log into either the AppSmart Learning Campus or the CNSG Partner Center to get the local contact information for your Rapidscale channel manager. They're great folks, highly technical folks, but still with a sales appeal. As you can see with Andrew, he's definitely got the sales chops to go along with the technical expertise. Great quality team, and one we highly endorse you to get involved with on your next cloud opportunity. Well, Andrew, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for being a guest on the Zoom. Kind of leave you with the last word. What's the number one key takeaway that you want partners to remember about Rapidscale?
So I think at the end of the day, as a partner, you have to look at where's a safe place for you to put your business. It's not only your customer's business, but a safe place for you to put your business. I mean, I was at Rapidscale early on when we were a lot smaller company and it was maybe a lot more risk associated to it. Right now, we're bigger, stronger, and faster than ever, and we're continuing to get better. And we've got a strong backing from Cox behind us, as well as the thought leadership and the leadership to grow this business and continue to adjust and make the right moves for us and for you guys as partners, so that you can sleep well at night and knowing that we're going to be taking care of your customers at the end of the day.
Well said, Andrew. Thanks again for being a guest on the Zoom, and we'll see y'all next time.